country I can go to. So I've coloured in a map and highlighted everywhere I can go.
For a lot of people, it's something that they may be dreaming of, but never come actually close to realizing their dreams. And what advice would you give to someone who is maybe like you before you started traveling, somebody who is, say, burned out or stuck in a boring job,
Yeah.
or stuck in a sort of a routine, but somebody who wants to change their life, somebody who wants to kind of like break free, but it's very scary.
It's very scary. It's very scary, but it's worth every second. I actually have a friend who worked with me in our company, and after I resigned and left, she sent me a message and she said she's resigned and she's now going to travel too. Said she's inspired by me now. And I've had so many people, if I could just turn your question slightly, so many people message me and say how lucky I am to be doing this. And I just want to say that it's not lucky. It's not luck that's got me doing this. I chose to do this. I sold everything back home. I left everyone back home. I quit my job and everything, and it's scary. It is very, very scary. And I'm alone. I'm a girl traveling the world alone. But it's the best decision I've ever made. And if you've ever thought of doing it, just do it. Like, you will find a way. If you find that there's days where you have no money, you will find a way. It's the best thing you'll ever do.
It's absolutely amazing, because I think what stops a lot of people is the fear of the unknown, what's going to happen next. And for example, in your situation where you sold everything, so there's basically nothing to fall back on. So you just left to explore the world and yourself. And I guess a lot of people also are watching. I mean, some people are inspired by you. Some people might be a little jealous of you.
Some people think I'm stupid. Some people are like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to come back and you're going to have nothing.
That's it.
And I just want to say to them, I'm going to have so much more than you think. I'm not going to have anything material. I'm going to have nothing material. Believe me, I'm soaring through my savings. I'm going to have nothing when I go back home. But I'm going to have so much experience and such a strong mental state that it's irreplaceable. It's priceless. Like, I would rather have no money and go through everything I'm doing now than sit at home in a 9-to-5 working my life away.
And what has impressed you the most so far? So you've been to Bali, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, very interesting places, very exotic too, very beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Anything there that you will keep forever for the rest of your life?
They've all got something so special, and it's such a difficult question to answer because they're all very different. Although specifically Bali and Vietnam are similar, as they're both tropical and beachy. That's kind of the idea everyone has in their heads. Something in each country has stood out to me. Sri Lanka is probably a country that's one I will go back to. I don't think I will go back to Bali. I don't think I'll go back to Vietnam, and I will go back to Israel, but purely because of the people. But I saw what I needed to see in Bali. I saw what I wanted to see in Vietnam. I traveled north to south. I did the whole country. But Sri Lanka just had something so spectacular that I'm drawn to going back. I really want to go back.
And explore it more, maybe.
More and more. There's just every day was something new.
How have you changed, let's say, from the moment you started traveling and up until now?
Oh, I think I'm incredibly open-minded now. I was always quite an open-minded person, but now it's just, I have no barriers. Like, come at me with whatever you want to, and I will be open and welcome with arms wide open. I also think I'm just a lot more free-spirited, a lot more relaxed. I'm not that 9-to-5 in a hurry girl anymore. I'm just kind of taking it day by day, very relaxed.
So they say that people who travel a lot or live in different countries, work in different countries, encounter different cultures, or in contact with something very, very different from their own culture, they get culture shock. Do you ever get that?
I had that in the beginning,
Uh-huh.
but I've kind of lost it now. Not in a bad way, but more because I don't build my expectations anymore. I'm at that point now where I just want to divulge myself into the culture. So I come with a complete blank slate, and I enter the culture, and I'm just like, come at me. I'm ready. And I think a lot of people who come with expectations or read the crime stats or do all this research, they might hinder themselves from traveling openly. And I just want to travel as openly and learn as much as I can. Like anyone who I've spoken to looks at me and they're like, "You're from South Africa? Isn't it really dangerous? What are you doing? Like, why are you from South Africa?"
And maybe that's why you're not afraid of it.
but exactly, everyone has this like picture in their mind of what South Africa is.
Absolutely,
so I don't want to do that, and I advocate for my country. I tell you have to go to South Africa. It's a beautiful place.
Russia obviously stands out as a very, very different country.
Every time I told someone I was going to Russia, they were like, "Why are you going to Russia?" I don't know, I've always wanted to see the snow. I've come at a terrible time because it's the one time it's not snowing in Russia. I was lucky enough in St. Petersburg that there was one day where it snowed, and it was my first time ever I've seen the snow. And then I also have a childish fantasy of my favorite movie growing up was Anastasia. And all I wanted to do was go dance in the ballroom she danced in. And in St. Petersburg is Catherine the Great's palace, and we went and we danced in the ballroom. And
wow, that's
I'm the happiest girl in the world.
Things I almost remember, and a song someone sings once upon a December.
So how do you travel in the countries where English is not spoken as a foreign language or people do not speak the language?
Google Translator is the best thing in the world. And I was actually surprised how little English is spoken in Russia. That actually surprised me a lot. But Google Translator has definitely... And charades. We do a lot of charades.
Okay,
and cool. I get to figure it out.
So that's one thing that surprised you in Russia. What else?
What else? The people, although they look quite serious and sometimes some may say a bit scary, I find them incredibly friendly. Israel, if I compare to Israel, the people look very scary as well and very serious, but they're not very open. You have to break through a lot of walls to talk to them.
Okay, so they're not open on the surface.
No, but once you get in, you can become friends. But then in Russia, they look serious, but as soon as they hear that I'm English, they all of a sudden have this gigantic smile on their face, and they're all just so interested to find out more. And they try charades, Google Translate. Somehow we have a conversation.
Well, it's interesting because for a lot of people there's a huge barrier, and this is something that stops them from traveling to places like Russia or any other country where English is not spoken on a regular basis. But you managed to get by.
I'm very lucky in the sense that I've been able to work in Israel, in Sri Lanka. My next stop is Nicaragua, and I'm going to be working in Nicaragua as well. And in each country throughout South America, I plan to find little jobs that I can work into, but all of them are so different. So in Sri Lanka, I've managed a restaurant. In Israel, I was a home cook. In Nicaragua, I'm going to be doing hikes at the volcanoes. And I think one day when I get back home and I have all these different jobs and all this different experience, I'm going to go to someone and say, "Hey, can I work for you?" And they're just going to be like, "Wow, yes." I think that the experience I have is going to be irreplaceable. If I were an employer, I would, and I say I wanted someone to run the marketing of my business or whatever. I don't want them just to solely be able to do social media marketing or advertising or mass media marketing. I don't want that to be their sole job. as someone who's had an experience in many different fields, I can do social media marketing. That's something I used to do. That's something I still do. However, throw me any other obstacle, I can also do that. I did carpentry in Israel. I can also build things. Like, you can give me any challenge and I'm going to be able to help you. And if I don't know how to do it right now, I will be able to do it tomorrow.
Wow.
Because of what I've learned and how quickly I've had to learn doing all these different things. For just the volcano job, for example, that takes a lot of responsibility to lead groups up volcanoes, active volcanoes. They're not dormant, they're active. It's going to take a lot of responsibility and a lot of training, and I'm only going to have 2 weeks to learn that. And it's another skill. I'm going to be quick at learning anything you throw at me. I believe that after this at least 1 year, 2 years of travel, I will be able to do whether or not it's something I've done in the past.
You're going to Nicaragua. After you're done with the job, what's your next destination?
Costa Rica, then Panama, then Ecuador,
Fair enough, yeah.
then
Well, you did that
Chile,
part of the world.
Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Brazil. Then I finish in Brazil, and I'll go back to South Africa for Christmas. So that's about an 8-month
Stretch.
trip that I'll be doing. And then I'll go to South Africa for Christmas, and then I'm kind of weighing up options after Christmas what to do. My idea at the moment is to get a car and drive from Cape Town to Cairo.
Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
finding the time for
Thank
sharing
you
your
for
experiences with me, because I'm sure that a lot of people will find this very, very interesting. And I think the most important thing here is not to be afraid to explore new things. And you've just given us some really, really great advice on how to conquer the fears.
I hope so.
Thank you very much.
This is it.